Hey, hey, hey. I'm Clifton Joseph. Welcome to the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast, Old Heads Talking Basketball Edition. I'm here with my man, Michael Solomon, who's been all over the world playing basketball and one of the champion stars in Canada here. And we have a special guest tonight, Victor Baines Marshall, host of the Middle Passage radio show, formerly on 88.1 CKLN, my one and only. Now heard every Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. online at Radio Regent. You can get him at Middle Passage, CKLN at Rogers.com. Gentlemen, the Raptors eked out this win, 122-111. It shouldn't have been that close, but the Raptors are now 17-17, back to 500, and fourth, can you believe it, fourth in the East.
Yes.
A couple of things before the game. Siakam was out. Coach Nick Nurse was out with four other coaches. Word just came down that for medical protocol. One of them apparently tested positive for not Siakam or Nurse for the virus. So Coach Scariolo came in. Was with the Madrid team, the Spanish team for years, and Team Madrid. And wonderful game. Kyle Lowry came in with a triple-double, 20, 10, 11. Siakam was out. Fred came through. Norman Powell had a 30-point game. Gentlemen, our guest, Michael, let's start with our guest. Victor, what did you see tonight in this game, man?
Before we go forward, Clifton, check your Ethernet.
My Ethernet?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm chipping in and out.
Yeah, you're freezing. You were freezing for a while there.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Okay. Well, what I saw was a game that had to be that close at the end as it was. You know, I mean, I've been following the Raptors for a while, and it seems like they somehow have this habit of letting other teams get close to them in the fourth quarter or something. Well, they usually close it out in the fourth quarter, but sometimes they I don't know what it is, lack of focus or whatever, but teams. I mean, they were beating that team by 20-some points at one point, and then they came back within 6, and they made it a game there for a hot minute. You know, but you know, it. I don't know what it is, man. You know, but you know, I don't like to be tensed up like that, man. I like, you know, like some people like a tense game like that, a tight game. But for me, I like it cruise control, not a slaughter, but I like to see them beating. Have, you know, at least a nice 10-point, 12-point cushion throughout most of the game. But the individual plays, I mean, like you said, Norm went off. You know, Anunoby seems to be offensively. He seems to be struggling a bit, you know, especially with his three. But you know, defensively, you know, they dug in. Bembry does his dirty work, and he's unheralded. But he, you know, guys, you know, they know that he's what he is, and he's an unselfish player, man, and that's what I like about him. You know, I was worried when they let Rondé Hollis-Jefferson go. Who's going to take his,
Me too.
Who's going to take his place? But this man came up and he's doing it.
Can handle the ball, can bring it up, can finish, can score in the middle, can hit one of 7 threes. You know what I mean? What's not to like?
Yeah.
Michael, the coach tonight, assistant coach Scariolo, actually brought out 12 players. Yeah. I mean, the only 3 people who didn't play in addition to Siakam, it's my guy, which I thought Paul Watson Jr. might have gotten a little burn, and our 2 Flynn and Harris. What do you think of that strategy?
Well, we're playing to win, right? We're playing to win. I know guys were tired from last game, right? I see Watanabe got some good run.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got some nice as he gets some good run. So we have the pieces, you know. I didn't find the game was that close. The game wasn't as close as the score. Put it that way. Okay, it wasn't as close. This is the NBA. Guys are gonna come back. These guys are professionals. You know, Wall was gonna make a run. I didn't know he played soccer.
Neither did I.
You know, but that was some serious soccer action on the floor there, man.
And then the one brother did the put
good again, you know, like fresh. Make him play and score. It's a good, sell job. Funny,
Well, at least for me, right? What settled me down in the beginning was that because that's still a good team. You got Wall, you got Oladipo, you got Gordon, you still got some good people. PJ Tucker, you know what I mean? Even House, you still got some players. And then you need 4 or 5 guys who can really heat up. And at one point, they heat up with them threes, and I was getting worried in the third.
Oladipo, man.
Yeah, they don't have a big
Oladipo
man. They miss Capella. I think they miss Capella.
Yeah, why is he out?
He's with
Atlanta.
He's with Atlanta now.
Yeah, he's not there. He was gone a long time.
Yeah,
he was gone a long time.
So one key thing for me was that sluggish start they had in a couple of the games where they have the tendency to relax in the first quarter, get down by 10, 12, or 15 before they feel comfortable to start rev up the engines. Yeah. So that seemed to have been going a little bit seesaw for a while, but they kind of settled the vibes down. And once that first quarter was happening, I was beginning to see in the second a little bit of their swagger in the second, where after that I was ready to say the game is in hand. And then what happened in the third, y'all, Victor?
Well, brother, like I say, they have a tendency to kind of sort of lose focus, and like Michael says, teams are going to make runs, but it just seems that they like a couple of times they start playing iso ball, like Davis has a tendency to do that, he starts dribbling, and he. And OG does it as well sometimes, and it's like this turnovers, and then they seemed to me that they didn't have, they lost their defensive intensity there for a bit, but they came back. They that this was a game that if they had lost, it would have hurt,
Absolutely. And Michael, you seem to be a little bit more charitable than Victor, in terms of you thought the Raptors had to get in the bag all night. Come on, brother. You weren't worried?
They were winning comfortably. And what Victor just spoke about the dribbling. There's one time that dude dribbled out the clock.
Yeah. I'm Davis.
He didn't even see to pass the ball. He didn't have the sense of the time. Who was that?
Davis.
Yeah, well, you know what? He has been playing very good of late. I'm not surprised that he'll do that from time to time, but I'll take it. He gives us so much.
Yeah, right? He does.
We're going to expect that from Davis from time to time, but this is the last time I want to see it.
and Watanabe
been playing ball.
Yeah. And Watanabe is usually a little bit tighter than what he was. Tonight he was missing the shots. He was, I don't know. He didn't
Watanabe?
Yeah.
They don't expect him to score. He did more scoring than he normally does, I think.
But he's a good defensive player. I know that much. He goes after those rebounds. He goes after them rebounds.
And he's been coming off of an injury too, so I think that he didn't get as much burn. So he's a little bit, I wouldn't say rusty, but he's not maybe 100%. I don't think. But gentlemen, I really like the way Coach Scariolo played the game tonight. I mean, granted, they've had a tough schedule so far. This is what, the 7th game in 8 days or 9 days or something. Yeah. But when you get 12 people out there, this is what I think the regular season is like for teams like the Raptors, right? Because I think he even got more radical than Coach Nurse.
Yeah.
I think that, for instance, I've been saying to Michael since eternity, Victor, give me Matt Thomas. Give me Matt Thomas for like a 5 to 10 minute every game. Get that dude in there, run him around and so on.
Yeah.
Give him a chance to make some mistakes, bring all players so we know who we have. We're going to need to insert those guys surgically to get to the Eastern Conference Final, Michael, don't you think?
I think Matt Thomas is, I think the coach is doing something different than Matt Thomas. He's sort of like in the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In certain ways. And when he comes into the game, if he doesn't produce like that,
he's off.
Yeah.
He's off.
Yeah.
So and maybe Coach knows how we don't know. Maybe he's one of those guys. If he comes in, he hits his first shot, you keep going to him.
Yeah, but
So
I
that's
think too.
the guy I want. He needs to be coming in instant offense. Boom, boom, boom. They forget about him.
Yeah, and I think the coach he demands that they play defense too, and I think that's where he's had some problems with Matt Thomas. But I want to ask you, Mike. I got a question, bro, for you and Clifton. What do you think about? Would you be amenable to the Raptors acquiring Boogie Cousins? Boogie Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins. Boogie. Big Boogie. He's a free agent now, man. And he'll come
What is Boogie right now?
Pardon?
Boogie can't bang anymore, you know.
I don't know. They say he's only 30.
It's not about his age, it's about his injuries.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the talent, but in terms of listen, Boogie will be an asset on any team. He's that skilled and he's that gifted, right?
Yes.
But it's about how his body's going to hold up. If you can get some good money from him, I would take him. He's a nice guy to have in your arsenal, that's for sure.
Because we're just looking for a guy, give me 10, 15 minutes, Michael. Give me 6 balls in like 15 minutes, you know, and to match up with the taller guys and so on. Because here's the thing with Boogie. He has dropped off so much since Sacramento. He's not a king no more. He's not even a prince. Yeah. He is a naif right now. The dude almost is hitting to be a servant.
But you know what?
And then Lakers.
But hey, you know something though, Clifton? I would like to see Boogie on Ben Simmons, man, and knock Ben Simmons' ass, because Ben Simmons just think he can come through there and just bogart everybody, man. They need somebody come in there and just, you know, maybe I shouldn't say this, I won't say this, but you know, I wouldn't mind. He's one of those, you know, some players might try to give him a rollie, man, rollie, he's put the foot out there so he just rolls his ankle, you know what I mean? Because he plays dirty, man. That guy plays dirty.
Look, remember, I don't know if you remember that move when he and Lowry nearly got into a fight in Philadelphia where he pulled that dirty move on Lowry.
Yeah, and then he
Who's
smacked.
The dirty guy you're talking about?
Simmons, Ben Simmons, man.
Dirty? I don't see him as dirty, you know. I see him as very driven, very, you know, he brings it all the time. Defensively, he's bringing it. He's got the strength. He'll go right through you. And that's how you got to play basketball. You talk about bad boy basketball. He's kind of like a bad boy throwback. He'll take anything you got.
Yeah.
In terms of the body.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Boogie will match his bad boy with some.
Boogie can't move with him.
But I don't know. I'm talking about under the rim. You know,
we're talking about elbows.
When they go up a rebound, bam, bam, boom. You know what I'm saying? I remember. Hey, listen. I used to play. I didn't play basketball too much. I watched it mostly. But when I was younger, I played baseball because I was telling Clifton. I grew up in the States and I had asthma, so I couldn't run because basketball you had to run a lot. But I remember my buddy. He would play them. He played in the schoolyards in Boston. He played in Boston, and this brother would put hard piece of cardboard on his pants, and then he put rocks. So rocks would be on it, but you know, his leg would be protected from the rocks, and he'd be going up. Them boys would play dirty and then you know.
What do you mean he was using it as a weapon? You saying?
Yeah. Yeah, when he's going up for rebounds, he just bang his hip into you with them rocks, you know.
Oh wow, interesting.
Oh yeah, them boys will do all kinds of stuff, and some guys will get mad and pull guns out, man. And I'm telling you,
it's the basketball war zone.
I see a gun, I stop playing right away.
Absolutely. Yeah. But Victor, to answer your question though, directly about Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus, who's available, is it Rockets just dumped him off?
Yeah.
I was in Houston, so I would take him for X amount of money for cheap, because I always thought that he would bring a little kind of toughness that sometimes the Raptors lack, and he would help spell us. Because I'm not looking for more than 10, 15 minutes. A center would bring in right now.
Yeah.
We can get him without sacrificing any other players.
Yeah, I think
because we still have that roster spot kind of open, right?
Yeah, Watson and who else? McCall ain't doing much. What's he doing? You know, he you know what I mean?
He's getting healthy.
And Flynn can go back to the Raptors 905. You know, he needs some seasoning. Bring Boogie up for the rest of the season, see what he can do,
and we just signed at six. We just signed a 6'9" guy, Dante Hall.
Yeah.
From the Ignite team, and he's now playing with the 905. He had a game tonight, his first one, and I've seen some of his highlights. 6'9", explosive in block shots, athletic, dunk all over the place, and so they're making some twinkling moves. But I thought they would have gone after Boogie by now if they were going to go after.
Yeah. I bet you LA's going to sign him. I guarantee you that.
If you're a team in with a chance to make a championship run, and you can get Boogie Cousins, and I would get him. I think Toronto is in that kind of position. He would make us better.
Yeah.
Put it that way. He would make us better. He would give us more versatility in many ways in the passing game. He'd be better passers. You know,
and toughness, and he can make the 3-point shot now too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what? We got people who can do that.
Yeah.
I would want him closer to the basket because he has that mobility. He can play. He can bang in the post on the offensive side of things. But defensively, I don't think he has the mobility anymore to really be super effective.
Yeah.
Right?
And he
wouldn't put those balls and use up those times, right?
And he wouldn't put, and like, you know, as opposed to like saying trying to get Drummond, you'd have to give up too much for Drummond and he's gonna be a free agent, you know. So I would take a chance on Boogie. Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if they don't take a chance on him. I don't know.
So Victor, me and Michael,
the medical report I get. The medical reports is what you have.
That's something we never know because he's lost a lot of time in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Victor, me and Michael have been talking so much about what kind of trades out there, especially some of the big names. For instance, when Drummond came out, Drummond's name came up, Griffin's name in Detroit came up. Every time a big name come up, Hassan Whiteside is gettable too. But those are some big names with some big numbers, dollar sign wise. Well, what do you think about some of those names? Is there any other big name out there you find attractive? Because everybody's after Lowry, but I don't know what.
Yeah. I wouldn't give up Lowry. I'm sorry, I wouldn't give him up. He's the heart of that team, man, and they gave him up. And I was
not right now.
No. Yeah, and Michael,
through the year.
Yeah, and Michael, I was saying to Clifton that if they give him up, because he's part of an attraction for other players to come here, and if he's not here, I don't know if they'll be able to attract some of these choice free agents.
You mean back to those drive days when they didn't like metric and all that stuff?
When they didn't want to come here. You know what I mean? I think Lowry would help pull people here, but if he ain't on the team.
Oh, don't forget, there's a guy named Van Vliet, don't forget.
Yeah, but I mean, he you know, I like Freddie, but
Toronto's on the map, brother.
I know, but I mean, I know I like Freddie, but I don't think Freddie's as quite as in Kyle's class. And Freddie can maybe score a little bit more, but Kyle does so much more.
You can't compare them right now. You can never really compare players as such, you know. Like they say Kobe was going to be the next Michael Jordan, but he was just the first Kobe, right?
Yeah.
Van Vliet's the first Van Vliet. He has unique skills, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus
but I don't think him by himself and Siakam. Now him, Van Vliet, Lowry, and Siakam and Anunoby together. But if you take one of those pieces out, I think it'll be harder to get free agents.
But Victor, it's also based on an organization too, right? Players know when they get to Toronto, they've got a stable organization. They're in a world-class city. They got a practice facility. They have a 905 team. They have a G League team. They know they'll be taken care of. The athletic staff is cool. The coaching staff is cool. So I think we've probably gone a little bit beyond there where we're so far away from, say, backwater teams like Milwaukee.
Yeah, but I mean, somehow those American brothers, they still like to stay in the States, man. They still like to stay in the States.
What I've noticed is once those American brothers come here and see these Canadian women.
Yeah, they like that. They like that. They like going to the brass rail and all them places. They love that. But you know, then they don't. You know, they say, oh, they don't have this up here, this kind of food, or they don't have ESPN, and it really, I mean, they could get ESPN, and they
Of
got
course,
enough money. They got enough money to go around that. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know what it is. You know,
Michael,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Hey, listen. When you beat a dog, you know, you can intimidate the dog after a while. So they're getting beat down there, and they come up here and they just, you know, they thinking they don't realize they're free.
yeah, I know. Hey, that's how I felt. But when I came up here, you know, when I came up here, I said, "Whoo, I feel lighter all of a sudden." You know, down there, you're born suspect. You go into a store, they're looking at you. Up here, you can walk around the store and nobody's following you around.
Like, you here that long?
Huh? What you say?
What you doing in the store that long?
No, I wasn't. I was in that store. No, you just go in the store and they look at you down the States. They look at you, man. It's like you're born suspect. They look at you from the moment you're a kid. They look at a black person like you're gonna do bad. You're gonna do something.
It was the same thing up here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not quite as bad. Not quite as bad, bro. Listen, I was raised in the States. I came up here in '76, and I can tell you, it's
76.
it's no way near the same, brother. Yeah. Like I'll be 70 October, so I've been around now, and I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like that. I remember as a kid going down to Virginia. I grew up in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We going down to Virginia, and I remember my papa had that green book. And I'm telling you, man, you go to them restaurants and they tell you, them white people tell you, here's you want some water, here's a hose. You know, I'm telling you, brother. Yeah. And I come up here and I go into the bank and ain't no plexiglass or nothing like I said, what's this? You know, and I get in the cab and there's no plexiglass. I said, what the, you know. It's like a world of difference, man.
Yeah, that's a different kind of predation.
Yeah, and it's just like the way people approach you up here. You know, like the policeman call me sir and stuff like that. Down there, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you guys how many times I got beat by the police, man. You know,
we'll get to that another time. We're very sympathetic because that seemed like what the police in America does. Well, and so many other places, gentlemen. Though in the third, the Raptors held them the Rockets to 18%, but then in the fourth, the Rockets went on a 13-0 run. How do you let a team like that get on a 13-0 run? Here's what I think. Then I'm looking and saying, no, what they did, Fred had a difficult time in there dribbling in. And that's one of the problems Fred will have sometimes when you pack the paint with some trees. Like he can't score except from outside. And even with his threes, he had about 3 or 4 threes and he was just totally imbalanced like he was in a circus.
And he tries to just ram his way through there.
Nobody seemed to want to get into the paint until Coach finally brought back M. Powell and OG.
And then when he brought Mr. Lowry in to settle the troops down. Okay, boys, we got this.
Listen, Powell is turning out to be the man these days, isn't he?
Yeah,
oh gosh.
Powell's woo. He's a bow-legged. That's a bow-legged brother, man. But he can jump, man.
30 points.
Brother is 6'9" tall.
6'9"?
Yes.
Except he's bow-legged. Now he's only
that's why you don't see it.
Yeah.
There's that curvature.
Yeah.
He can elevate like nobody else, man.
I know.
No, I mean, who would it? If
Bembry comes kind of close with his too. It's nice to see that.
I like Bembry, man.
We have great energy on this team. We got quick guys on this team, and that is our advantage now.
Yep.
You see, our small ball is doing it for us.
Yeah, and you know what too? They all. You don't see nobody like. I was listening to what these announcers. They said that when you look at the Raptors bench, you don't see nobody sitting there pouting if they're not playing. They're all up cheering and smiling for the other guys, man.
A championship will do that to you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what it takes to win. You know the attitude it takes to be as a team.
Yeah.
And when I look at these 12 players tonight, right, gentlemen, let me just go through some lists because the Raptors are filling up the box scores. Powell, 30 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal. Van Vliet, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Lowry, 20, 11, 10, 1 and 1. OG, 11, 3, 5. Boucher, 7, 8, 2, and 3 blocks. Bembry, 13, 4, 2. Baines, 9, 6, and 1 block. Watanabe, 4, 4, 1. We got some players who can do a number of different things so that if we have our 3 or 4 top guys scoring, like OG could probably done better here tonight, but I'll take his 11, 3, 5.
Yeah.
When Pascal comes back and he gives us another, 15, 20, 25 a game, and then our bench come off, man, I like what we got. And yeah, I don't know if y'all remember when couple of games ago when Nick Nurse got technical kicked out of the game, and Adrian Griffin started coached the rest of the game. He showed some lineups that I said, "Oops, wow, I like that." And today, Coach Scariolo expanded the bench, so 12 people played. What do you think that Nick Nurse might learn from Scariolo's approach of actually playing people?
Put it this way, Nurse might have done the same thing on a day like today after the kind of game we had last. Don't forget now, Van Vliet hasn't been scoring much.
No.
Okay? He's been shooting a very poor percentage. And what you've noticed is we're still in games. The last few games, if he had scored close to his average, we would have won those games.
Yeah.
Right? So Raptors make me feel real good now. We're a team. Everybody's scared of the Raptors, I think, now.
Yeah, and plus they
pump our chest now. They got
yeah, and plus Lowry is coming back off of injury, so he's watching his minutes, and I think he's watching OG's minutes as well. So I think
you have to.
They're giving the other guys some more play. Yeah.
That's why you have to use the bench, right?
Yeah.
So when guys come back from injuries and stuff, you can't ride them too long. You got to be mindful of those situations.
So, gentlemen, when we get the full complement of the team back, because it's been seesawing like so many other seasons where somebody's out, then they come back, then somebody else is out, then they come back, and so on. So OG was out for quite a while. Kyle was out with a thumb recently. Siakam is now out for protocol. McCarr was out. The coach had made a decision to go small, so starting without a center. And there was that talk for a while there by the pundits. Should Norm be a permanent starter? I believe that's out the window now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So Norm definitely is going to be a starter because the
they will have a riot in Toronto if they took him out of the lineup now.
So what when the team is finally back to the full complement? What do you think the lineup changes will be? And do you think it'll be small ball as usual? And who's your starting 5 when we got all of our people back?
I think it depends on the team. I think it depends on the matchup.
Yeah, that's a good point there. That's a very good point. It has to, when you're playing small ball, you have to really know the next team's matchup. And when you do go small ball, you have to know you have a team where they're going to have to adjust to you, right? You adjust to them. And with our speed, they have to adjust to us. Because that small ball defense is the best defense we got.
Mm-hmm.
And those bench guys come off and they play really good defense, like Watanabe and Davis, Bembry, right? It's
See, but I think one thing we're missing. I think that's why be good to get Boogie Cousins, because he would be that one component that when you're playing somebody like a Joel Embiid or somebody like that, you got some more muscle in there. That people are going to be aware of coming in, that they might just get knocked on their ass, if they
to be truthful, I haven't really seen Cousins play that much this year. I haven't seen too many of his games.
Neither have I. I'm not sure.
He's looking pretty good.
How much beef he can throw at you, I really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's about what, 250, 260. And I think he was averaging 8 points a game.
Wow. How many minutes? Do you know? I think
Maybe about uh 24, 25.
He would have
that's
been getting some burn
that's a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah.
because
I
they ain't
think
got
it'd be
that
worth
many
it.
people there.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth it, man. And I guess I think you could get him for. I bet you they could get this guy for like no more than 5 million.
I'd take it. Sold.
Probably under that for the rest of the season,
Sold.
because it's only going to be half a season, unless he decides that they want to keep him longer if they work something out. But I think they could get him for that.
Well,
I mean,
guys, we haven't really heard much from Ujiri yet, have we?
No, not at all.
no,
He hasn't issued a peep yet.
And
no.
which
So
means he's working on something.
That tells you there's a whole bunch of stuff going on because that guy is real
Yeah.
sensitive,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Michael, Victor, thank you for checking us out. Now they can check you
All
out
right.
at
Okay.
Radio Region Wednesdays at 5 to 7 p.m.
That's right.
The Middle
Or-
Passage Show.
And I got my podcast there too in the archives so they can check it out. But I want to ask you all one question.
Mm-hmm.
Being a baseball man myself, as you can see this here, flying, getting ready to fly. They're
Michael,
getting
this
fly
question
again.
is for you.
93?
Hey, Michael, what do you think about the addition of George Springer and Marcus Semien to the Jays?
You know what? I can't really comment on that much because I've never been. I only watch baseball during the playoffs.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm a basketball and track and field guy. You know.
Yeah, I'm basketball, but my first sport has been baseball because, like I tell Clifton, my pop played for a hot minute in the Negro leagues.
Yeah.
So we grew up with baseball, because
Understand.
back in the States, you had to realize too, back in those days, baseball was more popular than basketball and football among Black people because they had the most the other sports were segregated still when baseball was integrated.
Well, we're into the new age, gentlemen. The Raptors have won 122 to 111 to the fourth in the East right now, 17-17. They've got three more games before the All-Star break. They got Chicago, Detroit, and Boston. Quickly, gentlemen, what do you think of those three games?
3-0. 3-0. We're going to run.
3-0. Michael.
The table.
Give me those three game teams again.
Chicago, Detroit, Boston.
Oh, Boston's game is going to be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's struggling now. They're struggling.
They're struggling a lot.
They're talking about firing. They're talking about firing
the Raptors.
I know, but we're gonna get them back this time, bro.
This all of a sudden it's a game. It's like that's like rivalry now.
No, yeah, they get it.
We're gonna get them. We're gonna get them though.
Yeah, you get them.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. The Raptors have they're at 122, 111. They're fourth in the East right now and seem to be catching their stride, even though they haven't got their full complement of players and coaches tonight. I'm Clifton Joseph. This is the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast. Old Heads Talking Basketball with my man Michael Solomon, and of course our special guest here, Victor Baines Marshall from the Middle Passage Show on Radio Region.
Yes.
Thank you so much, y'all. See you next time. Hey.
Yes, peace. All right. Take care, bro.